This is part 3 of the review of Canon R6 Mark II versus Sony a7 IV, and in this part we'll have a look at the dynamic range and noise performance in low light condition at high ISO. In part 1 we discussed the photography side, and in part 2 we reviewed both cameras in video mode. Dynamic range. Here I shot uncompressed RAW on both cameras. I tried to get a scene with both extreme shadow levels and highlights for a better comparison. So in this image is where the camera exposure compensation is leveled. Let's call it the zero image. And every underexposed will be minus and overexposed is a plus. Now jumping to -5 exposure. And here we'll add 5 digital stops of light in Adobe Lightroom Classic, in addition to 50% shadow recovery. Let's zoom in here. It's remarkable that Sony a7 IV got more noise at this level. I can see it everywhere, to be honest. Alright, now at -4 exposure, here I will add 5 digital stops as well. Bear in mind that both cameras did well in recovering such a dark scene. Remember, you can always use noise reduction in post. At -2, -3, and -1 exposure, both cameras did well. However, I see Canon R6 Mark II noise is cleaner than Sony a7 IV. Cool. Now moving to highlights, Sony and Canon side by side at +5 exposure. It's remarkable that Canon image is broke at this level. See the shadows here? It's much cleaner in Sony. And when reducing the exposure by -5 stops on Adobe Lightroom, none of them is able to recover any of the highlights. And we get the same results at +4 exposure as well. Now at the +3 exposure, also none of the two cameras make it 100%. However, I can tell that Sony a7 IV at some point is slightly better than R6 Mark II. At the +2 exposure, the two cameras did really well. All highlights are recovered except the small light bulb. Alright. And both cameras made it correctly at the +2 exposure. Next comparison is ISO noise at low light. Sony S-Log3 starts at ISO 200, whereas Canon C-Log3 starts at ISO 100. I will keep you now with some samples at different ISO levels. See you in a bit. Thank you for watching, guys, and I hope this series helped in making your decision. Show me thumbs up and check the other reviews on the channel. See you. مين عمو؟